Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
5 seconds!
Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
And you can hear the sound of Saidar as well. I love that. You can hear the 1 power sound. So after taking some time to comb through the 5-second reveal a little earlier, there are a few things that stand out which quite a lot of people, including myself, have come to the same conclusion on. The first of those would be that the audio and visual aspects from the video are from separate scenes. In other words, they've been taken from different moments in the show and stitched together specifically for the What Wednesday reveal. Now, what we can't know for certain is whether the voiceover from Rosamund has been recorded specifically for this 5-second clip, or whether it's been taken from a section of one of the episodes. If I was to hazard a guess, I would think it's the first point. If my memory serves me well, I believe that not long ago, Rosamund over on her Instagram page shared a post of herself doing some voiceover work for an unnamed show, which I now believe is more than likely for the show. And if we take into consideration the info that John over on What Up has received from his dubbed source, it does start to make a lot of sense when we piece together all of this information. Moving away from the audio, we can now come to the visual portion of the clip. And this is where it gets even trickier to really create any sort of cohesive assumption around where Moiraine is or what she is doing. Now, I've seen quite a lot of people on Twitter were saying that they believe the visual portion has been taken from Winter Night and believe that the lights in the background are from a fire. Now, I myself have a few reservations about this, as I'll explain. While there is without doubt some sort of light which can be seen in the background, I'm actually steering away from this being a shot from Winter Night. Now, the reason I say this is, first off, if you watched a few seconds from the clip where we do see the light, you'll notice that the light doesn't exactly move at all. Now, if this were to be a look at apart from Winter Night with the light being a fire, I'm pretty certain that there's going to be some sort of movement going on with that light in the background. I mean, after all, a fire isn't a static thing now, is it? The only time it moves is from the result of the camera moving to keep Moiraine in focus. So that leaves the question to me of then, what is happening in this scene? Well, perhaps what we're looking at is something entirely removed from anything to do with Emond's Field. Let's start off with what we can see with absolute certainty. Well, it's Moiraine. She's embracing the 1 power and is not wearing her Kassira either. And finally, there is the light source in the background. Still not much to really go on now, is it? To be honest with you, it could go in any direction depending on how you want to look at it. For myself, as I'm writing this, I'm leaning towards perhaps the lesson she gives Igraine in the 1 power. She seems like she could perhaps be sitting down somewhere, and I mean, there really isn't any way to know for certain, is there? And this is where I'm kind of at with it all. Let me know where you stand on it in the comments down below. And finally, we come to Rafe's Q&A portion of the video. So he's answered 10 questions about Moiraine following What on Prime's Moiraine reveal video. So let's get right into them. John Cross asks, where's her jewel? Rafe replies, I can confirm here officially that the Kassira will appear in the show. I can also confirm I correctly spelled Kassira on my first try, but I did Google it to double check. Okay, that's good. I'm glad that they're going to be including that. I didn't think they wouldn't, because it is, regardless of its importance to Moiraine as part of her, it's a missed opportunity marketing wise for jewelry. So to me, there was no way in hell that was not going to be in the show. Up next, we have the Keller guy. I know what I'm excited about. But what is our great Lord Rafe most excited about? Rafe responded, I'm not sure if you're low-key calling me out as a dark friend. But either way, I think the moment Moiraine first walks into the Wine Spring Inn was the moment that really made me feel that true fan part of me make unintelligible sounds. I get that. I think when we get our first look at a proper trailer, we're all going to be making some next level weird sounds. Okay, moving on. Amarilyn Sedai. What direction Rosamund given about the facial expressions and body movements that she would use when channeling? Is this something that is universal through channelers, or are body movements more organic for each channeler? I really wanted the channeling to come from the women themselves and have them really believe it. So Rosamund was instrumental in building the look of it for herself, and each woman has built something out of what makes sense for her and her character, so it gives something authentic to it. The most important thing is that when you look in the actor's eyes, you know they believe they have the power of the earth itself at their fingertips, and I promise you, Rosamund does. So this one here was a really good question from Amarilyn Sedai, and it's intriguing because at the end of the day, there is no real direction, at least in terms of having something on screen that you can actually see and visualize, in terms of when a male or female channeler is channeling or embracing the One Power, for example. And so it's obviously left a lot of interpretation for each of the actors to personalize it and make it their own. And just whatever makes them feel comfortable and makes them feel it's the most realistic way in their own mind in terms of how they would need to go about portraying and showing to the audience that they're channeling. And so by not having a direct and rigid, how can you put it, guidelines for how you should or shouldn't be doing that, it leaves it to feel a lot more organic for each and every actress when it comes to them channeling on the show. And this is a good thing. Up next we have Silly Dabbit. Is the audio disconnected from the scene of Moiraine? Yes, Rosamund actually recorded this audio for this teaser specifically, so you won't hear this exact audio in the show. I knew it. I was correct. I knew my assumption was right. I was really confident that it was recorded specifically for this teaser today, as I know someone who's an actor, so if I didn't get that correct, I would have been very disappointed. So pretty much what normally happens in the marketing side of things, when you're trying to promote the show or your TV show or the film, and you're introducing some of the characters to the wider audience that you're targeting, you'll have the actor that's playing the role, record some voiceovers specifically for a teaser that will be going out. And so I was extremely confident that this was the case, and it has proven to be so. Dr. Cubano89 asks, what all goes into the process of deciding which clips to use for these promo clips? Rafe replies, we've got an amazing team at Amazon who do all that. Thanks at What on Prime. That doesn't look ageless. Is this something that is being reworked? Visual effects that require you to touch every frame that a character appears on screen are not great uses of money, so don't expect to see CGI faces for all Aes Sedai. Yeah, so that is an interesting point to make out. I think what he's implying there is what we're going to be seeing, at least when it's major characters or major Aes Sedai from the show and the books, you can expect to see them. But perhaps when, I don't know, maybe the best example I could give is the capture of Logain in the show. We know we're going to get loads of Aes Sedai presumably in the scenes, and so when you have maybe, I don't know, let's put a wild number out there, 10 or 20 Aes Sedai going to capture Logain, not every single one of them is going to have a CGI touch-up for their character on screen, as that obviously, as Rafe stated, is a complete waste of money, and the money is much more important to be used on other visual effects such as the Trollocs and all the other shadow spawn that are going to need to be visual effects. I don't even know if that's a word or not. But yeah, you get the gist what I'm getting at. But yeah, so that is the end of the video. I hope you've all enjoyed it. It's been insightful to you all. If you have liked it, could you please leave a like? It greatly helps the channel out in terms of the discovery. And yeah, so once again, thank you for watching. Well, I'm back off to the wolf dream, and I will see you all in the next video.